Hey everybody, this is Sanj, and for those of you tuning in for the first time, welcome to The Real Fan Review. Make sure you check us out on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Listen to all our episodes on your favorite podcasting app, and make sure to like us and subscribe on YouTube so you can keep up to date with all the new episodes. If there's a topic you would like us to talk about, just let us know. Our email address is therealfanreview@gmail.com. Real is spelled R-E-E-L. Enjoy the show.
You're listening to The Real Fan Review with Hav, Sanj, Al, and B.
What's going on, podcasters and YouTubers? This is Hav here, one of your hosts for The Real Fan Review. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us back. We are together. We're here to talk movies. We're here to talk movie news and trailers. Oh, man, it's been a crazy week, but we're here. And before we even start the podcast, I must say thank you to the fellas on the table here. And we had a Real Fan Review building this weekend. We were building a shed in my backyard, and Jesus Christ, what a project.
Yes.
Not done yet.
It's nowhere near done.
But there are walls.
There's walls. The walls are up. There's no windows. There's no doors. There's no roof, but it's up.
It's up. There's a base. There's walls.
Yeah, man.
That's progress.
I gotta thank you guys for that, man. So listen, man. Today on today's show, we got my boy Sanj.
Hey everyone, as always, it's a pleasure to be with you.
We got my brother B.
Bonjour.
And no man in the chair today, but he'll be back this weekend. And what we're just gonna do to this weekend, there was really no big movies that we could have seen this weekend, but we did get to see a lot of movie news and trailers, and a lot of stuff came out.
I got to see Countdown.
Oh yeah. How'd that go, man?
Well, I went in the middle of the day.
All right.
So I was the only one in the theater.
Uh-huh.
I was freaking terrified.
Now, I saw the trailers, man, and not for nothing. I mean, I know it got killed online with the reviews and stuff, but I thought it looked interesting.
I thought it was a good movie.
Yeah.
Entertaining.
Right.
Worth a night out to go see the movies if you're into horror, and I was terrified. Because it was on an app, and you really felt like it could come out of nowhere. Like I just really kept looking side to side. And I was scared.
And then you looked at your phone to make sure you didn't have the app.
Right, exactly. Yes,
You
exactly.
destroyed your iPhone.
Yeah, I see.
No
that's
apps
why
for
there's
me.
that's why there's a new iPhone. Yeah, okay, yeah.
Just text messages.
Goes and get a Nokia.
Turn that data off.
Oh man! Now listen, man. As far as this week goes, man, you guys interested in seeing any movies? Because I know this week Charlie's Angels come out. What else comes out this week?
I'm seeing Ford versus Ferrari on Friday.
that
I
too.
want to see that. I actually do want to.
I heard that got great reviews of Ford vs Ferrari. So
So my
And
son
we talked about this when the trailer came
Yeah.
out.
trailer, yeah.
So my son has, and coincidentally, he
Yeah.
has Friday off from school. So he came to me. He's like, Dad. He always has to say Dad like 7 times before he actually asks me what he wants.
Right.
So then he's like, on Friday, can we go see Ford versus Ferrari? I'm like, yeah.
Of course.
I'm like, shit, yeah. I may have actually said shit, yeah, to my kid. But whatever.
I hear you. I think my wife was telling me she was interested in seeing Charlie's Angels, and it got some good reviews online.
It's interesting because I feel like no trailers have came out for that
Really?
until the past 2 weeks.
Right. It's like the first trailer came out, then it just went dark.
Yeah. I was like, oh, Kristen Stewart's in this. I'm like, she's an angel. I'm like, oh, Naomi Scott's in this. I'm
Yeah, I was like,
I'll
oh,
see this.
Jasmine's in it. Okay.
Right? I was like,
Let's go.
I don't know where this movie came from, but sure.
And I heard it got pretty good reviews. It's supposed to be like the 30th or 40th anniversary of Charlie's Angels, so might check that out this week. So we might have some reviews of Ford vs Ferrari or Charlie's Angels this weekend coming up. So that'd be something to look forward to.
Awesome.
But for today's episode, man, we're just gonna go over some of the movie news because there was a lot of stuff that came out.
Yeah, a lot of news.
Yeah, man. So I wanted to see what you guys thought. First, foremost, we got to talk Sonic the Hedgehog.
Thank you. Thank you.
It looks so much better.
I'm sorry, they fixed him. And the trailer actually seemed better.
Yeah,
Yes.
they recut the trailer, and again, I'm excited for the return of Jim Carrey. I haven't seen Jim Carrey in a movie in like the longest. And
Right.
that's what I'm most excited about.
Yeah, man. We're not for nothing. When I saw Jim Carrey, I was like, oh, he's gonna go for it.
Yes.
he's gonna be wacky and crazy. Yeah.
Alrighty then.
Yeah, like, I mean, I can't even think of an even better person to do Dr. Robotnik. It's Jim Carrey. You know, it's just amazing, man. And the redesign of the Sonic, again, not too often will you see these film studios backing away from their decisions. They'll say,
Well, they were about to lose money.
oh,
They
yeah.
were about to
They
lose
weren't gonna
money.
have a
It-
movie.
it went ugly.
They weren't gonna have a movie.
Well, the thing is, especially with the CGI
Mm-hmm.
and the special effects, that's what costs money. That's what
especially after
I mean.
Detective
Everything
Pikachu just came out.
right.
like-
Everything costs money, of course. But there's an inordinate amount of money spent on like the CGI and everything because of how time intensive and resource intensive it is. So if people weren't gonna go just for the CGI, they were gonna lose. They were gonna lose
Yeah.
money. And this movie season, the two big movies that Paramount were counting on, one was Gemini Man, and there was another Paramount movie. I can't remember.
Yeah, but they lost money on Gemini. Yeah.
Both of their big movies for the season so far, Paramount lost a lot of money.
Yeah.
Like in the hundreds
no
of
return.
millions
No
of
return.
dollars. And they were banking on those movies. So studios are seeing it like we're gonna put these movies out and we're gonna lose money. It's not it's not gonna be sustainable. So listen to the fans.
Yeah.
Simple. Listen
Now,
to the fans.
I was going to ask you guys, and I'll ask you first, B. Do you commend them for changing it, or do you look at them almost like they've opened the door they didn't want to open now?
I feel like, to be honest, them fixing Sonic was them listening to the fans and a studio saying, we want you to see our movie because we do want it to be a success.
Right.
You know, like we saw in the trailer, we saw Sonic, but we didn't see story. So we don't know what the story's going to be, you know, but after seeing the trailer, you didn't care. You weren't invested in what the story would be. But now that they fixed Sonic and they gave us that recut trailer,
Right.
you know, I'm interested. I see an icon, you know, in the figure of Sonic. You know, I love Sonic since Sonic Adventure 1 and 2 on the Dreamcast, you know.
Right.
So, like, for me, having the figure of Sonic on the screen, I'm now interested in seeing the story that they're going to tell.
Right, because it looks like Sonic.
It looks like Sonic.
Gotcha.
You know, and then we were just saying, you know, Detective Pikachu kind of set a standard for what live-action furry creatures should look like now. Like, if they could make Pokemon look decently real, you can make Sonic look real. You know, and you
Yeah.
can do it the right way.
Gotcha, man.
So,
Now, on the opposite end of the conversation, sounds like I was just saying to Brandon, the other end of it is now anytime you do something people don't like and you get this outrage, are you now forced to make the change? Because look at how everyone, remember Transformers for us, when we first saw Optimus Prime, what do you mean he has flames on a truck? You know, there was such an outrage about the flames and how Optimus looked. And then when we got to the movie, you know, I thought Optimus looked great.
To be quite honest, I was not one of those people
All right.
that was butthurt, as Brandon about, you know, flames on Optimus Prime. But it's never the wrong time to do the right thing. It's never wrong to do the right thing, right?
Yeah.
If an overwhelming amount of fans that love this character, that are invested in this character, that have real, you know, nostalgia, a real nostalgia connection to the character, have a problem with what you're doing, there's nothing wrong with going back and taking a look at it. There's always going to be a contingent of any fandom when you have something that's iconic, like Sonic, like Transformers. When it's something iconic, you're always going to have a contingent of fans that are ultra purists. So if it doesn't look
Right.
exactly like what it used to look like, they're going to be upset. You're not going to please those people.
Right.
Those people don't understand that times change. With Optimus, what was the right thing to do for Optimus? Have Peter Cullen do the voice. That's all you needed for
Right.
Optimus. And he's a truck. Right? Now,
Yeah.
remember, the original Optimus Prime was a cab-over design. Not a very sexy-looking truck. Right? But he was Optimus. It was the 80s, right?
Yeah.
Good enough, right? This was in the 2000s here. Optimus, like you're not gonna want to see a cab over truck be Optimus. We saw that in the movie. What was it? Not Last Night, the one where he met Cade Yeager. That was The Last Night. Yeah.
Yeah.
So then they went back to showing him he took the form of a cab over
When he first
design,
got him,
right?
yeah.
But he wanted to blend in and hide, and he looked like shit. Right?
he did it.
Because he was blending in. So they gave you that nostalgia. They already established that the Transformers can change form,
Right.
right? They can change their outer appearance. So to blend in better, and honestly, when the protoform Optimus transformed into the truck and you saw it as the truck, I'm like, that's a good looking truck.
There you go.
If I was a truck driver, I'd want to drive that truck.
Right.
You know, most of the fans understand times change and you're gonna have to update the look of things and whatnot.
Yeah.
But if there is to come back from Sonic, I'm sorry, I'm going on about it.
No.
But but when it comes to Sonic, it wasn't just purist fans. It was everybody took a
Right,
look
'cause
at it.
yeah,
and
it looked
said,
hideous. The
"This
teeth,
just-
Imagine,
The look.
imagine they did that Mario Brother movie from the '80s. Would you see it?
Not now.
You know, like
but in the '80s, you're like, hey. This is all right.
you
I'll
gave
go
it a
see
shot,
Yeah,
right.
you gave it a shot. It's entertaining for what it was.
Yeah.
But now the graphics, the CGI, and all the special effects, we have better technology to like. If they came out with that today, given the technology that they have, you'd be like, yeah, that's crap.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I go back and forth between the two things because there are times where the fans are absolutely right, and there's a lot of times that the fans shouldn't be heard.
Yeah.
You know, and in some cases are some of the castings for Batman villains like Joker, you know, especially with the not the most recent Joker, but the Joker from The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name at the moment.
Jared
Jared
Leto.
Leto.
No. The one for Dark Knight.
Heath
Oh,
Ledger.
Heath
Heath
Ledger.
Ledger. You know, everyone killed him for having him as the Joker, and to this day, even with the new Joker right now, everyone thinks that he's still the best Joker
Yeah.
out there. You know what I mean?
Well, I think with to be fair to Joaquin Phoenix,
Yeah.
I think it's become a debate again.
Oh yeah.
Because whereas Heath Ledger came along and everyone pretty much said, okay, this is now the
it.
definitive Joker.
Yeah.
Joaquin Phoenix kicked the door open
Absolutely.
on that debate. He didn't just creak in and kind of just unlock the door. He went in and just kicked that door down.
Yeah, you definitely need to consider it.
Yeah.
You got to think 1A, 1B on that one.
Right. KD LeBron here
Absolutely, man.
type scenario.
And then we got actually a request there from one of our fans there. Yeah, we're gonna talk Scoop. We're talking Scooby-Doo Origins.
All right.
Scooby-Doo Year 1.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you something. Real truth. Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island and Scooby-Doo and the Cyber Chase were the greatest Scooby-Doo movies of all time. The music and the songs they created for those movies, we didn't deserve that. They did that for us.
That's for us.
We didn't deserve that.
I'm telling you, listen, I grew up loving Scooby-Oo. That
Bro,
was one of
That's
my
a puppet
shows.
called Scooby-Doo.
Dude, when Scooby-Doo is so iconic. You remember when we were clubbing and it'd be like 2:33 in the morning and then you hear the DJ put Scooby-Dooby-Doo, and then the club is going crazy for Scooby-Doo.
Because you know.
Yeah. I mean, we're drunk off our ass at that time in the morning, but so you could, whatever.
Yeah, man. But I mean, so we're talking about the classic tales of Vilma here. You know what I'm saying? We're talking about
Daphne.
Raggy.
I mean, looking at the seeing the trailer, it was really cute. It
brought me back, man.
I'm interested.
Very cute.
I'm really interested.
I do have a complaint, so I'm going to be one of those butthurt purist fans.
Go for it.
Casey Kasem is still alive. Why isn't he the voice of Shaggy?
So
negate everything I just said about being
Well, I think they also
forward
made
thinking
them
and everything.
younger in this movie.
Casey Kasem's pretty good at doing voices.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been in radio and
true.
doing voice. So he's pretty good at doing stuff with his voice.
yeah.
I think Casey Kasem should be
He
Shaggy.
deserves it, right?
Like, why isn't? I mean,
on,
if they tell me,
man.
hey, they reached out and he said no,
Yeah.
like somebody get me some news on that. Like, please, I need to hear that they reached out and he said no. If he said no, we're good.
Yeah.
If they didn't reach out to Casey Kasem,
You're not liking that.
I'm still gonna see the movie. The movie still looks really
It
good.
looks
The
good.
trailer looks really
It's
good.
awesome.
cute, man.
When you think about it, we really don't know how they formed. I mean, I don't remember the very first Scooby-Doo, but it's awesome to see
they were
the
already a
take
crew
of
because
exactly.
they were kind of like grown to like. 18, 19 years old. So they were already a crew.
Yeah.
So they had grown up
He was
together
a
already.
dog.
Yeah.
So to find out that Shaggy meets him on the beach, having a picnic by himself.
Sounds like a different show. A picnic basket.
But I thought it was really cute.
Yeah, it was
well
really
done.
cool.
And you know what? I'm honestly happy they went animated on this one. I don't think I want to see a live action Scooby Doo.
The
No.
best Scooby Doo movies were the one that were animated.
Yeah.
It's cool to see them take a 3D movie now. I mean, listen, we talked about graphics just now. You know, to have this CGI and graphics, you know, coming off success of other movies, you know, that field is there now. So to have an animated movie but be in that 3D text, I think it'd be really cool.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing it because, to be honest with you, I saw the live action Scooby Doo's.
And those were terrible.
Yeah, they're pretty bad, man.
It was a Scrappy Doo was the villain of the first one, right? Yeah.
That pissed, like, even in the cartoon when they made Scrappy Doo turn bad, I was heartbroken.
Yeah.
Power.
Yeah, because I thought it was cool when they added Scrappy as like his little nephew and everything, you know.
Absolutely.
And then it was cool, and then like he's a villain. I'm like, no.
No. Yeah, I know, man. But I mean, again, back to the trailer here. Yeah, I'm seeing it.
I'm gonna see.
I'm gonna
Oh
see
yeah,
it.
definitely. And the good part is that you can take the kids to see it as well.
Exactly.
And then it's yet another thing from our childhood that they brought back that our kids can get into, and like it can be something that we share. So we've got Transformers, we've got Voltron, we've got all the comics. You know, and-
on you, Thundercats.
Yeah, Thundercats.
Yo, for real.
Where are you, Aya Thundera?
I mean, they had rebooted the animated series. I mean,
Yeah, I
they,
did
and they
see
had
that.
the first season. It was really good, and then they just stopped.
Yeah, there's always rumors that they're gonna start working on it again.
That and Voltron, they're always
Yeah.
working on it.
All I
Yet
need
it
to see
never
is
comes.
the eye and the
Yeah.
sword. That's all I want
Yeah.
to see on a poster, and I'm set. I'm sold.
Sword of Omens, give me sight beyond sight.
Man, I love that and Voltron, Scooby Doo. Those are all the things from my youth right there, man. And in trailer news though, because we did Sonic, we talked about Scoob. There was a trailer that actually had stuck to me all week, and I watched it like the beginning of last week, and I can't stop thinking about it because it's a different play on the Invisible Man.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I watched that trailer, and I'm like, that is what's supposed to happen with a movie like The Invisible Man.
Mm-hmm.
Because for some reason, I always think of The Invisible Man, and it's always like this like comedy or just nothing serious. It's just, oh my God, the guy's disappeared,
invisible.
and he could do things because no one's seeing him. But this take that the Invisible Man is a psychopath, or this lady's crazy, and she's seeing things.
And Elizabeth Moss plays the crazy well, so.
Yes, she does crazy extremely well for anyone that's seen The Handmaid's Tale.
Sanj, what'd you think of the trailer?
I thought the trailer was incredible, and I just want to echo your sentiment about the approach to the story. It's centered around her. It's the Invisible Man, but it's centered around her experience. Like, is
Exactly.
she going crazy, or is this real? Because did he disappear? Did he, kill himself, or did he go invisible?
Right.
And it's like one of those things, like The Sixth Sense, where we didn't know that he was a ghost or stuff like that. And that's, to me, stuff like that where it keeps you thinking, like the Joker, where at the end we're not sure if he imagined it,
Right,
or if it was real.
Those thinking, thought-provoking movies.
Yeah,
man.
so it leaves you like Inception, where it leaves you if it leaves you asking that kind of question, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they do it well enough so that you don't know the answer to the question. That's awesome. So I'm in on
It
it. And then
reminds me of Kevin Bacon's Hollow Man.
Yes.
Yes,
Wow, that was you said it and I thought about it. Wow, yeah.
But not from the guy's approach. So I really like what Sanjay said, that this is from her experience of it.
Right, experiencing the Invisible Man coming after her.
And then she'd be like, he's in the room right now. Like, he's always with me. Like, he always says he's going to follow me, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, that's awesome.
That's just crazy.
Like, this guy can be invisible and he's still going to follow you in that room.
you know what it is, kind of? It's like a psycho thriller take on Ghost.
Yeah, exactly, man.
Right?
No pottery.
No pottery. And no Patrick Swayze without a shirt. Disappointing.
Keep your hands to yourself, Patrick. Oh, man. And then the movie news, man, Scream 5 got greenlit.
It's like 20 years late, man.
I mean, there's a part of me that again, the nostalgia factor that we're seeing these movies that we grew up watching or saw when we were younger, and it's like it's good. It's like seeing an old friend sometimes. But then I'm like, it needs to be. It needs to be at least good.
Like, do you want to see the original cast? Do you want to see Naomi Campbell?
No, they can't go back to the old cast. So if they bring this character back, it should
Naomi
be.
Campbell or Nev Campbell?
Was it?
I think it was Nev Campbell.
Nev. Sorry.
Two
If-
very different
I'm sorry.
actresses.
I was just thinking
Yeah.
Campbell.
If they do
Both have
bring
Ns.
if they do bring back Scream 5 and it's supposed to be the same kind of like timeline, I would rather it be a copycat killer. Right, rather than it's one of these people, or I really don't want to see Dewey again. Okay, I'm over Dewey.
I was just gonna say it. I'm like, can't wait for Dewey.
Yeah, so you know what I mean, like
Lieutenant Dewey in this movie.
Captain Dewey now.
Commissioner Dewey.
You know, but I really would want it to be like a copycat, something with the copycat. I really don't want to see Nev Campbell and Courtney Cox. I'm past them. It's the fifth movie, and it's like again 20 years later. So I'm ready to see something brand new, a new take on it.
Yeah.
Because listen, it's like one of those like horror franchises: Freddy Krueger, Jason, Michael Myers, the Ghostface.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And considering MTV just did a basically a series on Scream, like their own TV series, and I think it was only on for 2 seasons, but the story was really good. You know, remakes can be good, you know, or like redos. You know, a new story.
I never saw the MTV special.
It was pretty good, but it was on a take of almost the same thing, and just it was a different take on the story. It was good. So like, as long as it's something new, a fresh take. I mean, whether it's still the Ghostface costume, like cool. You know, fresh take is cool, as long as the story works.
I got you, man. And then in other movie news, man, we got, let's see here, Batman. They cast Andy Serkis as Alfred.
I don't mind that.
I can kind of see it if they're still going with the Alfred that has military experience, right? I can kind of see it. I can see Andy Serkis pulling off the English accent.
I mean, I can see it. Like I could see him in the butler uniform, really. You know, like him not having action scenes, but him in the uniform.
Him in the uniform. I don't know. I see Andy Serkis, and I still remember
Master
Claw.
Bruce, yeah.
You know, and I don't know. To me, I'm starting to get like that whole image stuck in my head of. Oh man, I can't remember the guy's name. The Alfred that played in with
Michael Caine.
Michael Caine.
Yeah.
To me, that's Alfred, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen,
That was the
perfect
definitive.
Christopher
Alfred.
Nolan completely botched who I think plays Batman because they were so good, the movies. But Michael Caine to me is Alfred, and like who was the Alfred recently for Ben Affleck?
Oh,
No,
that
Jeremy
was
Irons.
That wasn't bad either, Jeremy Irons.
No, that wasn't bad at all.
Nah. So I
He
mean,
just didn't get a chance with him.
yeah. So I mean, Andy Serkis, like, I'll take it because he's a good actor. But I don't know. What's your take, Sanj?
Well, with Andy Serkis, we know him as, I mean, he's jacked. You know, and he's a really big dude. Like, every story that we've seen with Batman so far, Alfred has filled the role very much as of Batman's father. He's been Batman's father.
Right.
You know, he raised him, he cares for him, he gets him his lunch and dinner and everything. So he's had that older paternal feel to him. So I want to see how he fits into the story. If the story calls for a younger Batman, meaning it'll be a younger-ish Alfred, or Alfred at a younger stage.
Right.
So maybe he's at the he's still got some of that some of his military chops and everything. If it is a younger Batman, it can work. But I mean, if it's an older Batman, which I mean, I don't think it could be an older Batman with Rob Pattinson playing Batman. But nevertheless, to me, I'll save judgment for how he fits into the story. The casting has to fit the story, and they've done pretty good with the casting. I mean, you got Jeffrey Wright in there.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you can't really knock him for it.
No,
and if I think about it, I can hear Andy Serkis's voice.
Master Bruce.
Exactly, I can hear his voice being.
That's a good sign. If you can start hearing the person as the character, and remember what we were talking about before. You know, we started recording. When we heard Heath Ledger was playing the Joker, what do we say? We said, "Fuck no."
Yeah.
Right, and then he turned out
Brokeback.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. That was exactly what we said. And then he turned out to be incredible.
Yeah.
As the Joker. So that taught me a lesson.
Gotcha.
Unless it's something that is completely wrong, and you know it's completely wrong,
Yeah.
give it a shot.
I hear you.
So that's my take on it.
And Brandon, we also have Penguin now officially in the movie with Colin Farrell,
Interesting.
aka Bullseye
Yeah.
from Daredevil with Ben Affleck.
Interesting.
They keep picking guys that would be great for the Riddler to play the Penguin. Oh no, I'm sorry, it was the other way around. Before they picked what's his name to Jonah Hill, was it right?
Jonah Hill originally,
and they were
yeah.
gonna have him do Riddler,
Yeah.
whereas he's the Penguin. You know what I mean?
Call Patton Oswalt. Like, come on.
Seriously, like what? Stop wasting time, people.
Yeah, man. I think they're trying to make him like an imposing figure or something. So maybe.
Just taller.
Yeah.
It's just taller.
I mean, at this point though, I'm over the casting. I need to see a trailer.
I need a suit.
I honestly, I kind of don't even want a trailer or
Nah.
anything. I just want to go in and be completely blind,
Yeah.
you know, to it.
Just give me Batman.
Just give me just go in, and we've seen so many Batman movies, so many Batman stories. I just want to go in blind. It's Batman. I'm gonna, whether it looks good, it looks bad, I'm gonna go see it no matter what. Let me just go and be surprised.
All right. And then another thing I saw in the news this week was Captain America was interviewed by the Black Widow. And she asked him, hey, would you ever come back? And he's like, to what? What?
That Chris Evans, such a lovable oaf.
Yeah, man. So Chris Evans actually said that depending on the story, he would actually consider it. He said, but the way that they tied up everything in Endgame, it would have to be something incredible and something that meant something for him to come back.
There's plenty of Old Man Cap stories.
Not only Old Man Cap. Listen, this whole time travel thing. How about Cap in that time period that he went back to? There could be stories there. Remember, Arnim Zola was in control of
Shield.
Was infiltrating Shield at the time. So it's like there may be stories within there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of villains they haven't touched on that maybe not right for the time right now that would be more convenient in the 1950s or 60s or 70s, right? Where Captain America could have a presence in.
There was a funny, I don't know if it was SNL, but there was a funny YouTube skit of like Steve Rogers, you know, back in that time period with his love, you know, and it was just, she was like on certain dates. She was like, "Oh, Steve, like we should go like see my new niece." You know, and it was just he was like, "Ah," you know, and it's him like freaking out. He's like, "Ah, maybe we shouldn't do that. Like, I've never kissed her before." Ah, and she's like, "What, Steve? Ah, I don't know." And then like, you know, certain events would happen in time, and he was just trying to find an excuse not to go, like not to be there. She was like, "Oh, I got promoted, you know, to the head of Shield." Ah, you know? It's just like it was like a whole bunch. It was just a series of things. It was so funny.
Oh my!
But like
God.
that's exactly what I pictured. Like Steve Rogers, like I don't know if I can meddle in doing this. Like I should, but I did give away the shit. Like I do plan on it. Like
Because honestly, I can't see Cap sitting it out.
yeah,
He may sit it out for a while just to be the husband, or you know, just to be
But
finally living his own
the
life.
point where he's sitting it out, there's two of him. One of him is being Captain America, and he's living,
but
and he's being Steve Rogers.
right, but at the time that he went back to, that Steve Rogers
He was
or
in
that guy
ice.
is on ice still. There's a whole time period that he's still in ice, and he's the one that's around. And I can't see this Captain America with his morals, the way he thinks, and the way he reacts to anything going on in the country. He's gonna sit it out, man. I can't see it.
I just
So I would
feel
love
like
to see those stories, man.
I as much as I do, and I love this Cap. I love Chris Evans in the Cap. I think
Chris Evans in general, just like
Yeah, I love him.
Yeah.
He's
Good
great.
dude.
Good,
I
yeah.
feel like over the last, at this point, 12 years in Marvel movies, you know, I think as much as I do want to see it, I think the ending for his story was
It's
something
perfect.
I don't
Perfect.
want. I don't
So,
want to take that back.
yeah, I would say the same thing too, because I don't necessarily. I've got a bad taste in my mouth about prequels
Yeah.
and going backwards from Star Trek. So for like 20 years, Star Trek just kept going backwards into its own time.
Right.
We're finally going forward with it, and I really don't want to see that.
Yeah.
Going backwards in the story. There's so much that they can do and move forward.
Yeah.
Again, there's old man Cap stories, so like build off of that story, keep him the way he is, and let that just be their nice story. Like in our mind, let us have our imagination of the life that him and Peggy had together,
Yeah.
without him running off to put himself in danger anymore. Because as much as you say you can't see him with his moral code sitting it out, I absolutely can see him saying, I've done my part and I will do my part again. Right now, I'm gonna enjoy everything that I sacrificed, everything that I missed out on.
Right.
You know,
I can see that.
because if him and Peggy are together, remember they do have kids. Remember they say they did have kids and because all along the way you saw pictures of Peggy's kids and whatnot. If he's running off, putting himself in danger again, while those kids are growing up, now think about his moral code. Like he's ignoring those children. He's now if something happens to him, they'll grow up without a father. I think that's against his moral code too. Him knowing the other Cap, or he'll come out of the ice at that date or whatever and do what he's supposed to do. My responsibility is here.
Knowing things
Gotcha.
are gonna be all right.
Knowing if something happened where all of that was put in jeopardy,
Yeah.
and the only thing left to do was for him to act, or it's guaranteed that it's all gonna come crashing down. Yeah, he'll act, but give it if everything's gonna work out the way it's supposed to, he's not gonna come off the bench.
How about this? I just thought about this just real quick. What you guys think? Thoughts on this? Is something happens to Nick Fury? I could see old man Cap being the new leader.
I mean, it depends on where this goes.
Right.
You know, we don't know where this Marvel future is heading.
Which is kind of awesome and scary.
It's awesome and scary, but you know, the more people keep watching these movies and the older movies and they start catching hints, like, you know, I sent you the text about the Nick Fury and his sandwich. You know, he's saying he likes his sandwich cut this way and he doesn't trust anyone who has another way. And then you go back to Age of Ultron and his sandwich is cut that way.
Yeah.
You know, they wouldn't just say it to say it. You know, Marvel in the way they write their movies for a purpose. You know, everything they say isn't just to be retconned or this and that.
Right.
So for them, you know, to have said that unnecessary line, and then you look back on a scene that Nick Fury of all people was in, and he has this thing was like, you now have to double think what you think you know.
Right.
And so I feel like Marvel is just pushing forward right now, and I don't know where the hell they're going. I mean, if we're going to space, I don't know. If we're going to different realms, I don't know. But I feel like Marvel right now is on a push to move forward.
Yeah.
And I don't think, and I know they're ending their stories with who they've had the last 12 years, who they started with, so that way they can make new stories. So I just don't see them coming back to Cap unless it's like something for like the Disney Plus. You know, maybe some kind of short or an episode here and there for something where Cap comes back for some segment, whether it's in the past or in the future. You know, I don't know.
Yeah, man.
I'm willing to see.
I got you, man. And you know, we're talking about all this stuff about the future and everything from Marvel, which leads us to the last topic for today that I wanted just to talk about with you today, because I know Sanjay had to leave just now. So between you and I, this Ant-Man 3 that's coming out right now.
Yeah.
And then when we first heard it, me and you started texting to each other about it. And I know you had said that you're on the fence about what they should do with Ant-Man 3.
Yeah, it's a big thing right now on the internet. Of all places, you know, with the internet is always full of speculation and such. But like, this is something I'm constantly seeing now is this divide of what people want for this Ant-Man movie. And obviously, it's not really on what people want.
Right.
But it does come in your head about what's happened in the previous Ant-Man movies. You're like, oh, shit. Like,
Yeah, like you didn't even
like,
realize
you didn't realize what was happening. You know, so the debate is really, you know, with this third Ant-Man movie, do you continue the story as a propelling motion? You know, they've used the last two Ant-Mans to propel different stories in Marvel while using Ant-Man, you know, and he hasn't really been, if you really think about it, he hasn't really gotten to be his own character per se. Like, yeah, he's Paul Rudd and he's Ant-Man, you know, and then here's the Wasp and here's Hank Pym, but you haven't really seen him like fluidly become Ant-Man. Like, a character in his own right.
Just to be on his own kind of thing and figuring things out. He always has a team.
It's either a team, but like the story's always meant to make a different Marvel property come to fruition.
Right.
And they always said like, oh, the things we put in the quantum realm or the things that we put here are going to be nods to what we do in Marvel in the future.
Right.
So even Marvel has set the expectation that they're using Ant-Man and the things that they're doing with the quantum realm, which is smart,
Right.
to propel other movies.
Yeah.
Is this how we get Fantastic Four? Is this how we get the X-Men? These are always your thoughts now because of what you see in Ant-Man. So the debate is, do you want your Ant-Man 3, the last Ant-Man you're gonna get, the way they're making it seem, and based off what we got of Endgame, him having the older daughter and this and that, do you want this Ant-Man 3 to be a continuation of a push for Marvel going forward, or is this gonna be a movie for Ant-Man to conclude his story?
Gotcha. Like, for me personally, I get what the debate is, but I also think part of it is they've kind of been telling this story. They got to continue it now. You can't leave that cliffhanger for me.
Yeah.
You can't tell me that the new, what was it, Janet Van Dyne, the Wasp, the old Wasp, say that, oh, I'm evolving because of this place. And, not only that she's evolving, but that there was more people there, that she saw things over there.
Yeah.
Now, I want to know what she
we
saw.
saw that city, we saw this and that.
Now, I understand that there's these thoughts out there that the Fantastic Four will be shown through this, that they were lost in the quantum realm possibly, or somehow, some way, negative zone is part of it, and they'll get them through the quantum realm. I don't need all that. I don't need to see Fantastic Four, but I do need to see them go back to the quantum realm, because even with the quote unquote villain of Ant-Man and the Wasp, Ghost, she was still technically needing help. They were getting energy from the quantum realm for her to be okay.
Yeah.
So I almost want to see what's going on with Ghost, what's going on with Lawrence Fishburne's character. Definitely want to know what's going on between Ant-Man and the Wasp, and also want to know what's going on with I forgot Michael. The original Ant-Man.
Oh, damn!
I can't think of his name at the moment.
Oh, that just hit. Oh,
yeah.
no.
So him and Janet Van Dyne, I do want to know what happens from there, because if she's evolving, is she an X-Men? Is she a mutant? What's going on? So
I mean, there's so much. I mean, even if you don't know Ant-Man, there's so much Ant-Man story.
Michael Douglas is his name.
Douglas,
That just came to me.
There's so much Ant-Man story to tell that they can conclude this story. I think they can use this story to propel things going forward for the Marvel timeline and the Marvel movies. But I think this movie should stick on the conclusion of Ant-Man's story being a solid, concise ending for Ant-Man.
Right.
Showing the. I lost 5 years with my daughter who's now a teenager. Does she become a superhero now? That was always a push. She was.
Maybe he trains her, right?
Maybe he trains her. She was a young Avenger at one point. What happens with him and the Wasp? How does the quantum realm get used to its fullest, maybe being the last time we're going to see it for a while.
Right.
In the way that we know it, at least. Because Doctor Strange has put it out there in different ways.
Yeah.
So, this may be the last time we see the quantum realm as we know it. I want to see more about it before it goes away.
Right.
I know the Doctor Strange is the multiverse of madness. Obviously, we may see the quantum realm in some shape or form, but I want to see what they have to tell us about the quantum realm.
Yeah.
It's considering Janet Van Dyne and what she said, and the city that we saw in the background of them leaving. I want to know more about it and how there may be a villain coming out of there to end the story.
Yeah, man, because like I said, they left a lot of little nuggets in Ant-Man and the Wasp. Yeah. The bad guy in the movie, he said that he worked for an organization that supplies him with money to buy all these black market items.
Yeah.
What's the company? Is it
AIM?
Is it AIM? Is it the Oscorp?
Yeah.
Is it someone else? Is it Doctor Doom maybe? Because now they have access to all these characters. But I don't think I would want it to propel anything, because at the same time, if Ant-Man 3 is the last one,
this is the last one.
It should just be.
And it wasn't even gonna happen.
Yeah, exactly. It's almost like they kind of willed it. What I find messed up is they actually gave Ant-Man a 3 and not Hawkeye, or
a 1,
a 1, right? But
he's in his own problems right now. So
and not for nothing. Also, I don't think Ant-Man was like a big time money maker. It made money, of course,
yeah,
but
because it was different. It was comedic,
right? I kind of do want it though. I do want to
Yeah.
see it. I'm waiting for it because when I think of Ant-Man Part 1, I just remember laughing and liking it.
Yeah, it
you
was
know,
great.
and also Ant-Man 2, same thing. Michael Pena kills it as the character that he plays with that talks
I
fast.
love Michael Pena.
Yeah,
In
dude.
any role he
He's-
plays.
Listen, he was the one thing missing from Endgame and,
Dude,
and
yeah.
Infinity War.
Like, I remember going into Endgame, I had just finished Narcos season 2.
Uh-huh.
You know, and if you watch season 2 of Narcos, spoiler alert, 3 years later, you know, his character dies before the last episode. You know, he gets killed.
Yeah.
And you're like, the way he played that role of Coco in that, oh my God, man, he played that role so well. So then to see like him not be in Endgame, I was like, oh,
I know.
man.
Even for me to see him dust away in the beginning would have been
Yeah.
great, but
Oh, it's Kiki. Sorry, Kiki in Narcos.
yeah, man. So I mean, look, either way, it sounds like we're both interested in seeing Ant-Man 3. But as far as the debate whether they should propel it or just tell its own story, I think it has to stay confined to the story that it's already trying to tell.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Especially, you know, where Endgame left them off. Janet had literally, I'm sorry, not Janet, the Wasp had literally just gotten back. And then all of a
Right.
sudden she's in a battle. And they did a really good job, the cinematographers, of like, she came in and she was like, I don't know what the fuck is going on. She's like, but I guess I have to fight someone. You know, the look on her face, she was confused.
Yeah.
And so, like, it made so much sense for that whole scene to happen, but we don't get to see what happened afterwards.
Yeah.
You know, she went to Tony Stark's funeral. Great. What happened with them? What happened those 5 years? Him and his daughter. There's so much story to tell that I just can't wait to see it.
I'm telling you right now, I'm gonna miss Ant-Man's daughter as a kid. The fact that
Yeah.
we're 5 years later and
That's
she's
crazy,
an adult,
right?
because his daughter was so freaking cute in part
Right.
1 and part 2.
Dude, when she opened the door,
Oh God,
I was like, yo. yo.
I'm getting the feels,
That hit hard.
dude. When he was looking at the names at the cemetery, or the not the cemetery, but the I guess
wall of the lost
wall of
or-
monuments, or
Yeah.
to the people who got faded away, I kept saying, "Don't find Cassie's name. Please don't find Cassie's name, because I'll lose it right now."
Yo, that was crazy.
Yeah, man. But thanks, guys, for listening to our podcast this week. We're just thankful, man, because I gotta tell you guys, we get a weekly report of the podcast, how many times it's played and listened, and where it's listened at, as far as the different states and countries at even, and the numbers are just going up. Right now, I think last week we had about 52 plays.
Keep them up. Keep them going higher.
The week before was like 54, and we're talking about like just a few weeks ago, or maybe even a few months ago, we only had about like maybe 20 plays, 25 plays a week, sometimes 15 or 12, depending on the topic. If it's Marvel, you guys freaking download everything. But lately, we're getting like 50 plays on different things. So the numbers are climbing. And I just want to let you guys know for, the upcoming year, 2020, what we're trying to do is something different. We're going to try to keep doing these podcasts, but maybe put some live versions of the podcast online on YouTube. Right now on YouTube, it's just a copy of the podcast that we do, so just the sound. But we're going to work on trying to do video to kind of get you guys more into knowing who we are and how we do these podcasts. And this is something we love to do. And guys, we just want to thank you for constantly listening to us. Again, if you like what you hear, tell your friends. And also, you can find us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at The Real Fan Review. Guys, I'm just very thankful for everything that you guys do by listening to us. So thank you. So signing off today, we have my boy Sanj here. We got my brother B and myself, Hav. And we're going to thank you again. And we'll catch you on the next episode. Have a good night.